Hey, everybody. So just want to keep you updated on these storms. We've had a lot of reports of wind damage with that cluster that went by well to the south of St. Louis, especially in Washington County and western portions of St. Francis County, down into that northeast corner of Iron County, very rugged area, and northwest portions of Madison County, Missouri, all well to our south. And those storms have now moved out of the 5 on your side viewing area, and they've also weakened somewhat. And now the storms that are moving into the metro area are heavy rainers. We did get a rain gust here. Quite a bit of rainfall. This area here to our north and northeast also saw some pretty intense rain, and out along Interstate 70 here. So the ground is pretty saturated in these areas, and if it lingers for too long, then the potential of flooding concerns would certainly increase. But right now it seems to be pretty much on the move, and we'll take it moving along as much as possible. So when we're kind of just watching everything that's going along here, we're really just watching the rain come down. It looks like this area here is maybe weakening a little bit. What's over St. Louis, if you look closely, just in these last few frames, you can really kind of see there's a bit of a circulation in there. This type of weather pattern, even though there's a front coming through and we are getting a shift overall, there have been thunderstorm complexes to our north and northwest over the last couple of days that have effectively induced some of their own weather and created some of these smaller disturbances that are coming along, like what we see tonight as these storms are dropping out of Madison and Iron counties now. And fortunately for us, they did weaken, but I'm sure they've still had some gusty winds down in that rugged terrain there. And as you look back in here towards southern Jefferson County, Valley Mines, you're getting some heavier rain now. But this is spreading east over into the Metro East and is going to move into St. Clair and Madison counties. And as long as it keeps moving, sure, we may get 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain or so, but as long as it keeps moving, that's our key. We don't expect more severe weather out of this, but what we are expecting is the torrential rainfall. And, you know, you're looking at these rainfall rates. I'm just going to kind of plug in some numbers here. There's South County here. You go down Tesson Ferry, and we're looking at rainfall that's about 2 inches an hour in some of these stronger cells. There was a 2.21. And that's kind of the case, too, as you get over here east of Lemay Ferry and right over the JB Bridge. I mean, those rainfall rates, those are hard to drive in, and they certainly do cause some problems for travel, but they're not lasting for an exceptionally long amount of time. And that's the good news that we have. So as long as we keep this moving, then our flooding threat is overall limited. And we've missed out on any severe opportunities today in St. Louis because we had some earlier scattered showers and thunderstorms. That kind of stabilized us, but the areas here farther south of St. Louis didn't get on that earlier activity. And as a consequence, they had a little more fuel to work through and work with as those storms are moving through earlier today. So that's where we are tonight. We have showers and thunderstorms across the area. Oh, there's about, I guess, about 450 folks without power here down in Washington County. Let me see if I can get an update from that. We've had quite a few reports, you know, for Washington County, which is a rural area, you know, southwest of St. Louis. We're talking Old Mines, Potosi. You know, you're in a very rugged rural area, and 450 customers without power, and we've had several reports from law enforcement from Irondale and Washington County, Old Mines, a couple of reports from Old Mines, power line knocked over along Highway 21, tree down at Highway 21 and Highway 47, County Road 41 and Highway 32 in Bellevue and Iron County had a tree down reported there. Tree down over Highway 32 at Old Irondale Road. That's quite a number of reports for very rural areas, and we're very fortunate that we have the law enforcement, the sheriff's deputies and Missouri State Highway Patrol, local police officers have been out there kind of scouring the area, looking for damage and reporting that back in, and calls coming into the 911 centers. So that information very vital to us, because when we see that we have storms that look like they're severe, it's always good to know what is really happening on the ground truth part of that. So in South St. Louis City, down to Afton, down to Melville, crossing the river, about ready to move into Columbia, Illinois. Some torrential rainfall right now. That's going to get you here, pushing through downtown St. Louis. This is intense rain for sure, the heaviest of which is from about Tower Grove on down through Carondelet Park, and then crossing over the river here into Cahokia Heights and heading down almost into Columbia. Melville, you're getting the heavy rain. You know, you probably, Oakville may get out of some of it, but you'll get a little brief burst of rain in Oakville. Don't think it's going to be as much as what you see up closer to 255 and then going farther to the north. Good news is, as we look up towards Granite City, which, you know, Granite City always has some problems when it rains hard. There's not as much of an issue there right now. Spanish Lake, it's starting to let up some. Bethalto's starting to let up some. So we're liking that trend with this continuing to weaken here somewhere around the metro area. And again, the area on the south side of this has a little more instability to work with. And I don't think the air really has been all that worked over going over towards New Athens and Red Bud and Waterloo. So that's also where we're going to be monitoring here for the next hour or so to see if we get a spike in intensity out of any of these storms, because when they did go through Lambert, we did get a 43-mile-per-hour wind gust. So, if there's a little more instability here off to the east of St. Louis, then by golly, these storms, they'll feed off anything, and they're essentially creating some of their own weather. So, that's where we are tonight. And I'm actually calling something else up on the computer to get a look at some of the little indices that we look at to see how unstable it may be for parts of the area. So let me zoom in over here. I don't want that sector. So thanks for playing along and hanging in there for a sec while I just kind of check on this. So yeah, that area down to our south, I think it was a little better earlier. It's worked over. How about the most unstable? How about this? So there's not a lot of winds aloft. So from that aspect, we know we don't have a big issue there. But we still have, some instability exists south and east of St. Louis in particular, although it's a lot higher as you go down farther to the south. So I don't think these storms are really going to intensify per se, but just for the heck of it tonight, because we can and we're here and it's late, here's your wind mode, your velocity mode. So we're going to look over Melville. And let's see what we have here. These don't look very bright to me. Yeah, so this only indicating, 25, 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that's pretty close. It's pretty close to the radar beam. But you're not seeing the bright red like what we saw with the storms that were going by down to our south earlier, the ones that went through Farmington and west of Farmington. It actually looked like there was a circulation kind of on the west side of Farmington, kind of spinning. It was broad circulation. It didn't really tighten up, but I'm sure it was some scary looking clouds if the lightning illuminated them enough so you could see them. So here's the radar in its glory with all the ground clutter in there too, and you can just kind of see if it's moving, it's rainfall. So, and when I say that, I mean, your yellows and your oranges and the reds. That's where the rain is, and the darker green that's moving. Otherwise, a lot of it is bugs and ground clutter and the radar beam kind of bouncing back off, which we see at nighttime, which is why we usually give you the view like this at night that gets rid of a lot of the gibberish that's out there. Got to be concerned about these storms over here in Montgomery County and over towards Greenville, because they don't seem to be moving as fast. The ones coming through St. Louis are staying on the move. These over here are just kind of sitting there, and they're producing heavy rainfall. And so that potentially is problematic here. So let's get a quick look at rainfall tallies. And you can see here some of the, just going back, I think we're set on 24 hours. Yeah, this is since yesterday, so yeah. So right now in Greenville, you're okay, but we got to be careful. If this thing doesn't keep moving, it is going to be very concerning here in an hour or two. Now let's hope it keeps moving. So that's, we may get a flood advisory over here because this area in Bond County had a good 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain yesterday, so a lot of rain there. And even in downtown St. Louis, I'm sure we're pushing an inch of rain right now because it's just been pouring outside. But that being said, it's going to let up. And when it lets up, we'll drain whatever hopefully minor flooding issues that there are. And I think it's worse as you go into South St. Louis City, down into Afton, down towards Melville and Oakville, heading across the river over now into Columbia, Illinois. So, the good news is this is moving through for us at a good time of the day in that it's not as warm and humid as it was earlier today. The sun has set, long since set, after 11 days at or above 90 degrees. Today we did not hit 90, and we do not have 90 in the forecast anytime soon. So I'm pretty sure that's going to make somebody smile. It makes me happy, that's for sure. So here's your radar picture here this evening. We're just going to kind of, I'm going to let you go. I got some things I got to take care of here to get Anthony set up for today in St. Louis. So I'm going to give you the radar pictures without any audio for a little bit. And you know what? If this stuff starts getting stuck anywhere and doesn't keep moving, or, you know, we start getting flood advisories or flood warnings or, you know, something, or it intensifies and the winds get stronger, I'll start a new stream for you so you'll know that we're back on with new information. But in the meantime, there's not a lot to worry about here. I just think we're going to look at this rain, and it's going to roll on through. So you guys have a good evening, and I'll be back if I need to be.